Hi everyone, and welcome back to High Scores, High Stakes, the podcast that says New Year. Who dis? I'm your host as always, Mr Luvva Luvva, and with me is my co-host.
Evening, lover. How are we? This feels weird. We're doing side quests in the middle of regulation competition.
I know,
I don't like it.
I know, but the good news is this is the last one. Regulation competition comes back on Monday, so I hope you and Mrs Tomahawk have been practicing on Overcooked 2 because I know me and Mrs
Sure.
Luvva certainly have not. This is going to be a one and done. I feel it. I feel it. We're going all sherry mode here. Hashtag sherry mode. But yes, everyone, welcome to another episode of High Scores, High Stakes, and of course, a new year. So, happy new year to you, everyone who is listening or watching us right now. I hope 2025 is a great year for you because I know it's going to be a great one for us at the High Scores, High Stakes podcast. But
Yes.
enough about the new year. Let's talk about what High Scores High Stakes is because, as we are all fully aware, every episode is somebody's first episode, Tomahawk. So, right now,
Oh
there's
yes.
someone saying, what is High Scores High Stakes? Why have I clicked onto this? I have no idea what's going on right now. Well, calm down. Take a big deep breath. I'm going to
Love
tell
is
you
here
now.
to soothe you and bring you into the fold.
High scores, high stakes in competition, in season, is three friends, three PlayStations, and we compete against one another in a league table in PlayStation gaming challenges. Every week is a new game, every week is a new challenge. The winner of the challenge every week gets 3 points, second place gets 2 points, and third place gets 1 point. At the end of our competitive seasons, which last 12 weeks, the winner takes home the coveted high scores, high stakes cup. And then after that, we go into our 12 weeks side quest where we discuss everything gaming, everything PlayStation. Every week is like a brand new podcast. And that is what we are. And that is what we do. But let's just say for a second, Tomahawk, let's play. Let's role play a little bit.
Oh
Okay,
no, I was terrible at this last time.
you are you are a massive high scores, high stakes fan, and you find that 1 hour a week just isn't enough. So where do you go
Where can I? Oh,
to get more content?
I don't know. I certainly hope that there's a website of some description because that would be
Centralized.
really good. Something centralized and all the info is stored in one place and I can find everything at the touch of a button.
Well, dear listener, you're in luck. We do have a central depository for all of our content we create all over the internet. It is, of course, highscoreshighstakes.com. Get yourself there on top of the homepage. There are links to everywhere you can find us on the internet: Discord, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, the whole heap. Get yourself over there. Click on those links and hit the follow or subscribe button, depending on what site you're going to. If you want to continue conversations with us, the best place to do that, Tomahawk, is also Discord. The link is on top of the homepage there as well. If you have been listening for a while and you still haven't given us a star rating, what are you doing? Sort yourself
5 stars right now. Do
out.
it. Do it.
Yeah,
We're gonna pause the podcast. Okay, that should be enough time.
more than enough time. Rate the podcast between 1 star and 5 star. Be honest and give us what you think we're worth. If you want to give us a written review, that's even better because then you can justify what score you've given us. As long as it's constructive, we'll take it on board and we'll make this podcast better than ever before for everybody listening to it. And if you have a friend or a family member who you think would like the podcast but you haven't shared with it, again, sort yourself out. What are you doing? Hit the share button. It's right there. Just hit it. Go on. Go
Do it.
on. Do it. Perfect.
There.
Share it with your friend or family member through Discord or WhatsApp or whatever messenger you choose to use. And with all that being out of the way, Tomahawk, I was going to ask you, what are you playing? But it's been Christmas time. I know what you've been playing. You've been playing Okami HD because you recently picked that up. Well done. What a game. 40 hours. The best Zelda Nintendo never made. Some would say it's the best Zelda game ever made.
That's somewhere that I read that people were shouting at Capcom because they made it with AI or something. I remember reading the headline of an article in passing and went, "Well, that sounds stupid,"
They
and then just
upskilled it
scrolled
with
on
AI, I
past.
think. They upskilled it
Oh
with
right.
AI, I think. Yeah, yeah. But it is a banger. The game is just so good. But yes, let's not worry about the games we have been playing. Today's episode is going to be about the games that we will be playing in 2024. It is, of course, the now traditional episode of High Scores, High Stakes, which is, of course, the games we are going to be playing in 2025. This is where we have scoured the internet looking for release schedules of games coming out this year, and we're going to be talking about it very briefly, I would say, the games we're going to be playing. So, do we want to beat around the bush, or shall we just get straight there?
I think we should get straight in. No
Let's
kissing.
flip that page in the calendar. It's January the 1st. Let's go. Okay, Tomahawk. I don't know how you want to work this. I think we should do a wee round robin. We pick one
Oh,
game,
yes.
chat about why we're looking forward to it, and then move on to the next. Keep it nice and loosey goosey, nice and flowing like water down the side of a mountain. Fast, but gentle enough so it doesn't scare anyone. So I went first in our Game of the Year episode, so I am going to return the ball onto your side of the court. Tomahawk, tell me one game you're looking forward to playing 20.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a game from Cardinal Smith's list.
Oh, I forgot
I,
Cardinal.
I,
Cardinal. Yes. So yes, I forgot to mention Cardinal's not here. It's been a few weeks now. Sorry everyone. Cardinal Smith cannot join us for the recording tonight because he has much more important things to be doing right now than worrying about high scores, high stakes. He is not here in person, but he is here in spirit. And Tom and I very much miss having his irreverent comedy every recording. It does make the editing easier though. The
a
editor
hair
kills me.
smoother. Just a hair smoother. Anyway, we're going to fire straight into Cardinals list here. His first pick did come as a bit of a surprise to me, actually. He has gone for, and I can only assume this is from a previous challenge that the hype now has kind of transcribed across. It is Sniper Elite Resistance.
Okay,
I
interesting.
was very surprised by this one now. I think this one seems to be a spin off as opposed to another numbered title. But that's I don't know an awful lot about this one. I've seen the options on PlayStation Store for purchase, but I can only imagine it's going to be more of the same, a little bit of run and gun and snipe and stealth,
The
and has
true
a map which Cardinal Smith loves.
the trailer is excellent. The trailer on
Okay.
PlayStation Store is excellent. It looks really good. Yeah, I mean, am I surprised? Yes. Am I shocked? No. Because me and Cardinal Smith used to play Day of Defeat back in the day together.
Okay.
So I do. We all know Cardinal Smith loves maps. He loves compasses.
He loves
Sniper Elite has
history.
both. He loves his historical things as well. And he did say in the Sniper Elite episode, if you want to watch that, scroll down. It's a banger. He did say on a number of occasions during that he enjoys using sniper rifles in games. So I'm surprised because it's
yes.
an action title more than anything. But I'm not shocked that he's picked that because it's a solid shout. I think it's made by, is it Rebellion? Is that what you call the developers of that?
That's it, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, no, Sniper Elite 5 was shocked me how much I enjoyed it and shocked me how good it was as well.
That's it, yeah. I'm in the same boat, but it's one of those games I think I'll wait until it comes the obligatory free to play PlayStation Plus title because I don't have a vested interest in them, but the game did surprise me. Sniper Elite 5 very much surprised me how much I enjoyed that. So, Sniper Elite Resistance would be Cardinal Smith's first game that he is highly anticipating for 2025.
Interesting choice. Do you want to go next, or would you like me to jump in?
We'll pass the baton to yourself, Luvva. Let's hear your first pick then.
I'm informed that changing voices regularly in the podcast keeps engagement higher with the audience. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of games here because they're smaller games, and I think I've discussed a couple of them enough throughout previous episodes. So the first one, obviously, the biggest of these ones is Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 remastered, coming out in February.
Yep.
Exactly. I think it's
Perfect.
pretty much exactly on the year's anniversary of 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 were great games. And 4, 5, and 6, lower
Not the
quality.
best games of the series, yes, but I like what they've done is rather than go, I want to say Chronicles, Angel of Darkness, and Revelations.
Or
But
Last Revelation, sorry.
I like this lovely little repackage that they're doing. Rather than give them those titles and just say remastered, that 4, 5, 6 one does kind of give me a bit of lovely bit of hope in this one now. But yeah, if it's anything to go by from what 1, 2, and 3 were like, we're on for a treat.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think The Last Revelation is a really, really, really good Tomb Raider game. Chronicles, not so much. The less said about the Angel of Darkness, I think, the better. It's a bit of a mess. Another small game I want to talk about. This will come to the surprise of nobody, but this is probably my the game I'm most looking forward to. But it doesn't have a date. I'll be on 2025, and it is Capcom Fighting Collection 2, because this one has a good few games that had me fist bumping. Primarily Power Stone 1 and 2, and the scrolling action beat 'em up, The Punisher, as well as Project Justice. No rival skills though, which was a bit of a shame, but I do kind of see the thought process of only having one of the series in the collection. So yeah, Capcom Fighting Collection 2. It's a Capcom game. Is it any surprise that I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it?
I don't know, no, not at all, to be fair. And these sort of remastered collections, all these fighters and stuff are just falling out the wayside here. Now the Capcom truck is like falling off the side of the road, and we've got nothing but re-releases of classic fighters.
It's about time. It's about time. Power Stone is a great game. Power Stone 2 is even better. So it is. And Project Justice was just incredible. Just all mostly Dreamcast era games. Just really, really, really good fighters. Every single one of them. There's a couple of Debbie Downer titles in there as well. But the less said about them, for those 4 games of a collection that has, I think, 6 or 7 games, yeah, more than worth it for me. And then the last one I want to talk about is the one that I don't think is going to come out in 2025, but it looks really good. And it is,
Yeah, I definitely have one of these on my list as well, but
yeah,
let's hear
it,
it.
it is Exodus, which was announced, I think, at the Game Awards. It is the space action role playing game starring Matthew McConaughey.
I don't recall this one actually.
So they released a trailer. I want to say just before Christmas they released a trailer for it. It just it looks like a if you take Mass Effect, if you took Returnal, if you took Dead Space, and if you took the
Okay.
Callisto Protocol and just slammed them together in a blender and then poured it out into a cup, you would come out with Exodus. It looks really different. It looks really fun, and there seems to be like this massive like animal sort of motif throughout it. There was a couple of like bosses shown. One of them was like a
Okay.
massive like bear, and there was a few others, but they were all animals. But it looks really good, and Matthew McConaughey is voicing a character in a video game. What timeline are we
I th-
on?
there was a moment there, I'm just looking at a screen grab, and there was a moment there was poorly lit. I thought it was actually his likeness as well, but no, if we're just getting the voice, yeah,
Yeah,
hook that into my
yeah.
veins, to be honest.
I don't think it'll come out in 2025. It looks mid-budget, to be fair. It could do, but I wouldn't hold my breath for Exodus. But it's one I think looks promising. It looks like it could be a good time. But yeah, Exodus, mate, is I think it looks really good. It could be a really good game. Don't get me wrong, it could be dreadful as well because it does lack a wee bit of an identity. But it is what it is. Tell me one of the games you're looking forward to coming out in 2025.
Yes. This one also is one that I am a bit hesitant that may not make the 25 window. It's not Metal Gear Solid. I'm also not that less set on that one, the better.
Yeah.
I have gone for, and only because I was looking back at the trailers for it again because I did really enjoy it. Judas, if you
Okay.
remember
Yeah, yeah,
back in the, I think it was before Summer Games Fest, or it was one of those state of plays or something at least
yeah.
anyway. And we got that Bioshock esque space station uh, power ups malarkey nonsense.
Yeah.
It's just Bioshock in a better looking skin,
Yeah,
really.
Ken Levine and
That's
all
it.
that sort of good stuff. Yeah, it does. It did look good. It looks great, in fact. But it is. I'm the same as you. I don't know if we'll see it in 25.
There's a lot. There's a lot to be said about like the trailers because it's sort of in-game cinematic,
Yep.
and then a bit of gameplay peppered about, which suggests to me if there's gameplay at that early stage, we could be getting it in 2025. I am a sucker for everything that was Bioshock. I'm a sucker for everything that was System Shock back in the day. I think that Judas could be one to keep an eye out for. I don't know if it's going to be this mad commercial success, but I think people who are into the BioShock series are definitely going to be one to keep an eye on this at least anyway.
Yeah, I think it will be successful, but if and when it comes out, listening to what Ken Levine, and I don't know what he calls new production house. He used to be Irrational Games, but I don't believe he's with them anymore. What he wants to achieve with this game is really ambitious. It sounds like it could be like a keystone moment in gaming, if that makes sense. Kind of like what
Yeah.
Bioshock was. Bioshock did kind of make storytelling, it pushed along storytelling in games by an awful. It was a big
Y- That's it.
acting a leap.
Especially this one talks has or it nods towards that they're bringing in some sort of morality
Hmm.
system. So it looks like there's going to be one of these multiple endings depending on how you deal with scenarios and characters. You can either screw them over or you can use them to your advantage or aid them and however they want to do it. It's gripped me and it's one of those ones that sits in the back of my head and I think I need more and
Yeah.
I'm owed more.
You owe me, Ken Levine.
Like, I think I was scrubbing through this, just kind of researching, have a look at it. I think the first trailer was 2 years ago.
It was announced for sure 2 years ago.
Yeah,
It was definitely
and
announced.
it was that shot of the main protagonist. I imagine will be called Judas in the space station window, and everything is kind of shown in flashes. And next thing you know, the something crashes into the window. So yeah, it seems quite a long time coming, but I'm hopeful that this one will be coming in this year.
Yeah, yeah. You never know. You never know.
That's it.
Bioshock kind of came from nowhere as well. But yeah, no, Ken Levine's behind it. It should, at the very least, have a good story. I just hope that morality system is a bit more in depth than what Bioshock's was. Remember with the little sisters?
Oh, yes, yes.
I hope it's not as
You get the good
binary.
ending or the bad ending, and it depends on if you're over 50%.
Yeah, I hope it's not as binary. What about Cardinal then? What was Cardinal's next shout?
This one was a slightly more left field pick, but then I don't know what his experience is with the series as a whole. He went for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which has a confirmed 2025 release date. Did in previous chats he has alluded to trying to get us all to buy
Has
uh Kingdom Come Deliverance. I have owned it because of his rational consumer advice. I think it usually is on offer at about 3.99. So I've bought it, never installed it, but I'm also in this I'm in this thought that it's nothing lost, nothing gained.
Yeah, I think it's also on PlayStation Plus in the catalog. I think.
I believe that is actually, yes, I believe you're right on that is a new addition. So the game looks good to be fair, and again I don't know an awful lot about this one, but this it's suggests that it's sold well to warrant a sequel. And for the flashes and the screen grabs and stuff that I have seen of part two, this one looks like it's going to look pretty good as well. And again, another historical uh, game for
Yeah,
Cardinal to sink his teeth into.
Chuck Carr. But in fairness to Cardinal, Kingdom. What is it called? Deliverance.
Kingdom Come, yeah.
Thank you. Deliverance is a game I've heard a couple of folk tell me that I should play because it's really, really good, but brutally difficult. I don't know if it's my style of game at all. I'll probably never play it, nor its sequel, but yeah, you never know. Where stranger things have happened. I played Kingdom Hearts once. Enjoyed it. um, Another game then I'm looking forward to playing in 2025. Fingers crossed. Well, no, fingers crossed. This is coming out in 2025. In fact, it's coming out February in 2025. It's True the Brand, Capcom game. It is Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter
Yeah.
Wilds. It looks
You
cool.
you were obsessed in the beta test on this one. I thought
The beta
there's no
test was
way
a
he's not
yeah,
buying this day one.
yeah. But I'm a day oneer, no doubt about it. The beta test I thought was insanely good. Just a really not a massive leap over Word, but just what they did add really adds so much to it. Plus that Resident Evil engine, I wish they could just keep on using that forever because it just never ceases to amaze me what they can get
Yeah,
that thing to churn out. This game was so much fun. There was so much going on in that beta, and I know not every fight is going to be like it was in the beta. They've purposely picked
like
that fight,
ramped it up. Yeah, yeah,
but the weather effects, the dynamic weather effects happening during the fight, the random interactions with other monsters upon the monster you're hunting, they were hunting each other, fighting each other, using that big lightning bird to attack the core. It was just a superb time. I pumped a lot of hours into Rise. I really like
yeah.
Rise. This is a generational leap ahead of Rise. It's crazy. I am so looking forward to it. I will be day one. And I will see you out on the plains as we hunt monsters tomahawk because you're coming with me and I know you are. I know you are.
Kicking and screaming if nothing else. Yeah, no, I watched you the beta, and there's a lot going on. And if that they wouldn't pick that part in the game as a demo if they didn't know that that's going to be a good like good point to start on a launching pad for the game. Really, I would say as the bigger monsters do come about, that setup will be very prominent throughout. But the vastness of that game just blew my mind.
Yeah, it was just everything about it. Just the opening sequence where you were like getting chased by the monsters through the sand and the big boat and just everything. The whole vibe around it is just awesome. Monster Hunter is a great series of games. I want to play more of it, and I'm going to play a
Yeah.
lot of Monster Hunter Wilds. I've no doubt in my mind. Who knows? It could be 2025's Phasmophobia for me. Who knows? But what's another one of your games or Cardinals games?
Let's go with one of mine then. I think I've gone for. I'm going to keep with the space motif on this one just for the next couple of minutes here. I have gone for a game that shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, really. It is the series 2, episode 1 of the Dark Pictures anthology. I
Indeed.
am talking about Directive 8020. Now, there is very little to be said about this game because all we have so far is a cinematic. But then, being the Dark Pictures, you are essentially watching a cinema, a
Yeah, yeah,
4 hour
yeah.
cinematic.
Yep.
So it has space,
Yep.
it has aliens, it has shapeshifters, and I just have a feeling that this narrative is going to be incredible. Like I think the start of the trailer for it, if I remember correctly, is like this: oh, come to this space station, everything's beautiful, everything's perfect, but all around this utopian advertisement for this space station is just nothing but chaos. There's stuff growing on the walls. The main character is like just running for her life, and all you could see is the shadow of this creature shape shifting. And as she comes into the room, and it's the voiceover of her like audio logs
Hmm?
about how it sort of got to this point, and then the alien or the creature or whatever just like faces off with her, but they look exactly the same. What I loved about it is that the game never really lent itself to being a Dark Pictures entry,
Yep.
apart from like the little tags at the bottom when it was like 2025, and then you have Supermassive Games, Dark Pictures Anthology, all in like little tiny text. So it's so different from what they've done. This
Yep.
one feels much less grounded, big quotations. And I'm really intrigued for. I loved everything. I loved all entries of the Dark Pictures, and I'm just really intrigued to see where this direction goes because for me, it feels so left field for Supermassive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It could be. There's a lot to digest with the Dark Pictures, isn't there? Like every movie, or every movie, every game
yeah,
takes inspiration from like a subgenre of horror. You know, you have the ghost story, you have the haunted ship, you have the underground monsters and
yeah.
werewolves, vampires,
Vampires,
the
everything
whole heap.
between that. This one's very much like the Thing, but in
Or yeah,
space.
or
Yeah.
Alien, like the original Alien movie as well. It just
Oh,
yeah.
that's it.
So it's just science fiction horror, and I'm all for science fiction horror. I do enjoy really good sci-fi horror. There's not
That's
enough of them.
it. There was enough of a setup in it that it hooked me before I realized it was a Dark Pictures follow on. And yeah, that's it. I was just like, nope, I'm obsessed now. And I'm just, it's not so much the game I'm looking forward to, it's how the curator then fits into telling the story for you,
Yes.
because you then having to go from spacesuits and all that kind of jazz to man in a bowler hat giving you convoluted clues to surviving the night.
Yeah. Yeah. The series is, man, it's wild.
But that's it. Like it's such a strange game to look forward to because I know it's going to be 4 hours long, and then it'll
I
be
mean,
like that's it. These games like these are just over in a flash, but it has the replayability to to do better or do worse deliberately.
and see slightly different scenes because a character has survived or a character has died, depending on how your
Exactly.
previous playthrough goes.
Exactly.
Like, I do really enjoy the supermassive games sort of blueprint for these things. It's a lot more robust. As much as I enjoyed Telltale games, it's a lot more robust than the Telltale games. Telltale games were always exactly the same every time you played it. The options were an illusion of choice. They're really, the story didn't change at
It's
all.
conversation beats more than
Yeah,
full narrative shifts. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas with the Dark Pictures, the decisions you make, the choices you make, the characters who live, who die, it does make. I think, don't be wrong, the story ends up the same place anyway, but you do get additional scenes, different viewpoints. You see more dialogue, more scenes, or less, depending on how your playthrough's going. I really love supermassive games, and I love their whole sort of blueprint for these things. How they've went from Until Dawn, which was great and still is great, to the casting of Frank Stone, which apparently has hundreds of endings and is just ridiculous, and it's meant
Yeah.
to be their best work. Yeah, no, I'm all for this as well. I'm on board with you. I think everyone who listens to this podcast know our love of supermassive games. But yeah, what about Cardinal then? What's his last choice? I think he gave us three choices, didn't he?
Cardinal did his last choice. Now, this was quintessential Cardinal Smith now, and I think this is a February release.
If it is
It's
what I'm thinking of, yeah, it's
Civilization
February.
Civilization 7.
Any
Like less there's not much to say on it. We all know how we feel about Civilization on the podcast. Now Cardinal, I'm pretty sure, is every single, or by this point will now own every single Civilization entry. It looks great. It just looks like they've had a massive upheaval of graphical quality, and I'd just be interested to see what in-game engines they tweak and change and how that works, or whether or not it's just going to be build a civilization, here's slightly prettier graphics.
No, they do make big changes with
Okay.
Civ. Civ 2 was the one I got started with Civilization. 3 was completely different. And then 4 was completely
Oh,
different
okay.
again. They do make huge changes. Sure, Cardinal, this, said Civilization 5 was a game I played very little of, to be honest. Civilization 5 never had the Holy War win condition like Civilization 6 does. And
Right. Okay. Okay.
you can turn off Holy War as a win condition in 6, but it infests every single game you play in Civ 6. It made Civ 6 less popular than Civilization 5 with the Civilization community. 5, I think, still has more concurrent players and stuff, but it is a great series. It's endured since the late 80s, early 90s. I remember playing Civilization 2 in the mid to late 90s on a Windows 95 PC with a Pentium processor. Like, that's how old this series is. The good news for you, wanting to check it out, did I hear that Netflix have got the like a
Yes.
exclusive version coming to everyone who has a Netflix subscription? So that's a good way
I
of testing
believe
it
it's
out.
available like as of like moment of record. It is available if you have a Netflix mobile app. It's in the games catalog now to play Civ 6. So anytime, what's really good about it is it works so well on console as I imagine it will on a handset as well.
Yeah.
Um, just to be able to pick up and go because I still dip into Civ 6
So, yeah, so
here and there and just play. Granted, it's a new campaign as such every time. But yeah, you can play for 20 minutes. You set up. If you don't like it, you just go boop, reset.
yeah, it's a really good. It does just be aware that it does take, well, because we played through again
Eternity.
for an hour and a half, 2 hours every week. 10 and 12 weeks wasn't enough to complete a game or get very deep into that game. It's mad. What an in-depth, what a great game. What a great series of games.
Yeah.
It's just enduring. It will never die. So it won't. But yeah, Civ 7. I'm not surprised people.
1991 as well was the first
91.
Civilization. Yeah.
Yeah. We're playing 92.
It's the same age as me. That's the
Insane.
laugh of this.
Insane. That's before Windows. It predates Windows. The first one was an MS-DOS game, surely.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. It predates Windows. There you go. That is an enduring legacy game if ever I've heard one.
I'm 2 months. I am 2 months older than the Civilization game series.
Wow. There's complicated for everyone. The last game I want to talk about is a bit of a cheat. It's actually three different games. One,
Of course, it is.
one is a very, very, very small project from Rebellion, who made Sniper Elite, and
Ooh.
it is. I do believe at the time of recording there is an open beta going on PlayStation 5 and PC. It's coming to both platforms simultaneously. It has crossplay and cross progression. I do believe it is called Midnight Murder Club, and
Okay.
it is a team-based online shooter in which it seems to be in a house like a mansion where it's teams of two go against one another, but you can set traps and the whole aim of the game is to wipe out the other
Oh,
teams.
yes. I have heard this one. This does look pretty good. Like,
It looks like it could be a lot of fun. I don't know what sort of replay ability it will have or longevity it will have for most players, but it looks like it could be a really fun game. It could go down the route of like content warning and all that sort of stuff. It could be really good. It could be really good. Um, the next game of these three that I want to talk about is one I don't think needs to be talked about very much. And it's also a game I am not convinced we're going to see in 2025. I think this might be pushed to 26. Not because of the team
okay.
developing it being unable to do it. I just think they have a track record of announcing a game for a certain year and it coming the year after. I am, of course, talking about what is sure to be the single biggest game of all time, GTA 6.
Yeah, I just don't have not I don't have, not that I don't have any faith in this. Is it weird to say that I don't care?
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
It's a,
I genuinely don't care about GTA 6. I know that once it does come out, it will dominate
yeah,
forever and a
yeah,
day. So the longer I remember we were talking about this earlier as well, how game developers are deliberately holding back on the games that they have ready to go in 2025 in case GTA decides to put a release date out so they know whether or not to go before or after, because what they don't want to do is share the same release window,
yeah,
because it will kill every other game on
yeah.
earth.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like I know Take Two have said at their like shareholder meetings and earlier on this year they said like 2025 is set to be a record breaking year, but it's GTA and it's Rockstar, and if they're not ready, they aren't going to release this game. What's Take Two going to do?
Exactly.
Release it or else it's Rockstar or else what? We are Rockstar. This is GTA. We will release it when it's ready. I mean, you just have to look through their history. You know, GTA 4 was meant to come out in 2007 or 2006. They had announced it coming out in 2006. It came out in 2007. Red Dead Redemption was meant to come out in 2009. It came out in 2011, I believe. GTA 5 was meant to come out in 2012. Come out in 2013. Every game they do gets pushed back. Not very much. I don't know if we'll see it. Like, it would surprise me if we see it, but it would surprise me at the same time if we don't see it in 2025. I don't know if it's coming to
That's it. It's
this
one
year.
of those ones. It screams summer blockbuster. Really, it screams something that's going to come out July, August, September window,
Yeah,
and then it'll rival the likes of the next Call of Duty title. Because this is how I remember gaming used to be. It was a GTA, Call of Duty release, and then the two of them would duke it out, and then Call of Duty or GTA would then exist forever between the next installment. Really,
see, I have the opposite memory now. I don't know whose is more accurate here. But in my mind, Rockstar games come out in like April, May time, which is weird. I do distinctly remember Red Dead Redemption 1 coming out in May. And if memory serves me right, GTA 4 came out in May as well. But I have it in my mind that their release windows are like quarter one of like the financial year, quarter two of the calendar year. But I mean, I do distinctly remember going to the midnight launch of GTA 4, but I can't recall what time of year it was. But I want to say May. But yeah, no, Rockstar Games GTA 6 is going to be the biggest game of all time. People might be surprised to hear me say I'm looking forward to GTA because I'm not a massive fan of GTA Online, but I absolutely adore the single player campaigns in GTA games.
Yeah, they're really great, to be
I think
fair.
I put like 80 hours into getting all the achievements in GTA 4, and I think I put 93 hours into the single player of GTA 5 when it first released
Incredible.
as well. I really enjoy the single player games. I played all the GTA 3s, um, and I played GTA 1 and 2 as well. I do enjoy the single player games, the single player campaigns in GTA. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think it looks really, really good. It sounds really promising, and who doesn't want to go back to the city? That's the real question.
That's it. No, that makes sense. Certainly, it's just it's one of those games that they put the trailer out, but 14 months ago now.
They had to though because
They did,
there was
and
a
then
leak before it. Remember?
that's right. Yes, but then the thing is, though, there has just been radio silence, and they nearly want to deny the existence of of it altogether.
See, but this is what I love about Rockstar games. Rockstar
The
games do
mystique and mystery about it. Yes.
they do things their own way. I will believe GTA 6 is coming out in 2025 when Rockstar Games drop the classic GTA trailer of the protagonists just walking on the spot and all the background changing like they did with GTA 4, like they did with GTA
Yeah.
Vice City, like they did with San Andreas, and like they did with GTA 5. When I see that trailer, I will pre order this game because I want to play GTA 6. There's that joke. The PlayStation 2 saw three GTAs, GTA 5 saw three PlayStations. Time
I
for a new
saw
one.
something. I saw something brilliant because we get the meme. It's like, oh, we got this before we got GTA 6. I saw that GTA 6 won the most anticipated game award,
Mhm.
and the first comment was, "Damn, GTA 6 won awards before GTA 6 even came out."
It's mad, mate. It's mad. And then the last game I want to talk about, and we'll talk about it very, very, very briefly, is Ghost of Yotai.
That
Yotai.
wasn't. That was like fleeting in the back of my mind. I thought Love is going to talk about this, so I'd probably deliberately not mention it. But yeah, I have no doubt the Sucker Punch have got this ready to go.
Oh, this is ready to go. I think it has no release date, and I think it has no release date because they're holding out to see what Take Two's going to do with GTA 6, and they
That's
want
it.
to
It
avoid
has to
it.
be. But this is going to be the weird year that like release windows will be held back.
Yeah,
We'll get the year and no more. And I wouldn't be surprised. This is my hot take for 2025. I can see a lot of shadow drops
I
coming our
can.
way this year.
I think you're right. I can see this year being lots and lots of games in a couple of months, like a really big game every week for like 1 or 2 months, and then nothing because I think people are anticipating like certain windows for GTA 6,
Yeah.
and I think January and February are absolutely rammed right now. There's basically a game every week in January, every week in February, and in fact, some weeks in February have 2 or 3 games coming out, like big ones, and then there's nothing for March and April that I can see, just in case Take Two want to beat the financial year. May has a couple of games, but then the tail end of the year is like, and so I think we'll see this like distribution of games being really condensed to one another, trying to
Yeah.
avoid GTA 6. I think November, December next year are going to be barren wastelands.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
think,
time to get the backlogs done and cleared out.
yeah,
Absolutely at this
the
point.
big rumor is GTA 6 is dropping October, and I think
I
people
believe that.
will
I would
once
believe that.
once that drops. I think we'll see a Call of Duty September drop for the first time in probably 10 years. Because there's no one who's not
Easily.
running. there's no
They'll
one
not be
not
able
running
to, even
frightened.
they'll not be able to compete. Yeah, yeah,
Everyone's running
yeah.
scared. And Rockstar know it. They're just standing there with a big bag, just waiting for the money to fall into it, because that game's going to be enormous, enormous. But yeah, that's Ghost of Yotai though. Ghost of Yotai, it looks great. My hope for this is Sucker Punch keep everything that they learned with Ghost of Tsushima. I hope that they keep the Legends mode, which was the multiplayer mode, which was
Yeah.
brilliant. I hope that the story is as impactful as the original. Am I disappointed that it's not Jin back again to continue his story? No, I
Not
think
really. I'm
I
the
felt
same boat with this.
his story ended at the end of the first game, regardless of what you did
Aye,
later on.
regardless of like what the canon ending is, or even the opposite ending, however Sucker Punch have decided what is canon in this, Jin's story's over. What more can
Mm-hmm.
you do? He's either on the both instances, he's on the run. You
I
can't really.
I love it.
How do you elevate that? Yeah,
I love the concept of it, because it's like 300 years apart, I think. But I love the idea of having like Assassin's Creed almost, where it's Ghost, and you can just tell so many stories throughout different periods of history, and it all just makes sense, rather than having like another protagonist that can be, held up with Nathan Drake and stuff. I think I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. The first one
it's
was
good.
Ghost of Tsushima was just it's one of the best games on PlayStation 4, and that doesn't sound like much, but PlayStation 4's library is absolutely loaded with like amazing titles. It's
Hmm.
right up there with Bloodborne for me. It might be the best PlayStation Studios game on the console. I'm not counting Bloodborne as a PlayStation Studios game, by the way. It's made by From Software in partnership with
Yeah,
Sony.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, Ghost of Yotei, absolutely. Like I still remember seeing that trailer, and I was just in awe. But it came out of nowhere, and they were like, because that was, I want to say that was like September, October time.
I think it was the most recent state of play. I think it's what closed the state of play in like August, I think.
No, God, it came early because it was around the same time they announced that Dino Crisis was coming to the classic. So that was like the September, or
Oh, that
like
was
September, early October then.
yeah, yeah. It was, yeah.
So then the fact that they've gone 2025, here's what we'll have. As I say, it's another one of them games that looks like it's bloody ready to go, and they're just going to pull the trigger.
It's gonna be
That not so much a shadow drop, but I think they're ready to pull the trigger depending on what Rockstar and Take Two do for.
yeah. You could now this is pure speculation. I have no sources inside Sony. I really wouldn't be surprised if January, we always have a state of play in January. We always do. It's usually the midpoint of January. I would really not be surprised in January state of play if we see a release date for Ghost of Yotei before April 1st to try to claw back some of the lost money from Concord.
True, that's a good shout. Actually,
That's my
that's a
prediction for
very good
Concord.
shout. Hmm.
But yeah,
Right. Well, that takes me quite nicely into to round everything off here tonight. I have one more major pick,
yep.
and then I have a little quick honorable mention because what I was actually doing, I was trying to look and see if we have a release window for Control 2. We don't.
We don't. No.
We don't. That did get me down a lovely little of. Do you remember the Federal Bureau of Control Firebreak?
The multiplayer thing?
The 3-player multiplayer
I mean,
shooter that they announced for 2025.
I didn't until you said the name. And yes, I do remember that. I do remember that. Because I remember you being quite excited in our group chat and me going, control. Who cares? But it looks fun.
Man, I tell you what, you need to just like forget about the map, just play Control, and you will thank me for it.
I
It's
did complete the
honestly,
game. Like,
oh,
the last half an hour of that game are dreadful.
I think it's not as good as Alan Wake, but what I think Control has done is opened the floodgates to what this Control verse is,
Yes.
and I
Yes, I will
think
give
it's
that.
going to
Yep.
be something. If Remedy can pull it off the way I think that they can pull it off, we're onto something phenomenal for a storytelling engine and a great central starting point for the universe, an expanded universe. So it may not be Control 2, but it is going to be a three-player special ops type shooter in which you go in and you're the team who needs to stop these AWEs from escaping, which it looks so weird and wonderful and steampunk and so in with the setting of Control, it's so timeless. And you could argue that it takes place at any one point in
Yeah,
history or any
yeah.
one point in a multiverse, really. And it's first person. It's a first person shooter as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I completely forgot that game existed, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, it does look like it could be fun. I don't know. I mean,
Oh, it'll
depending on
have
my
no
style.
bearing, and I think it'll have no bearing on the main sort of canon and the main story, really. But I like the idea of going and oh, this universe or this place has a alternate world event that needs to be shut down, and that needs to now be fixed, basically,
Yeah, yeah.
because the way that like slight tangent, but the way they've set up in Alan Wake 2, because you're FBI, they are well aware that the Bureau exists,
Oh yeah.
the Bureau of Control exists, and they begrudgingly work hand in hand in cases. So it's quite cool to see where the Bureau of Control can expand out on this one. So I think it'll be fun. It'll be silly.
Yeah, yeah, could be. Could
But
be good crack.
I'll definitely play it anyway. But the main one I do want to talk about. Um, I've synced about 100 hours into this predecessor. It is Death Stranding 2.
I was gonna pick up it, I knew you would. So yeah,
Yeah.
fire away then.
um, I loved everything I loved the world, everything about the game, the story, the characters, the art direction, the world that is Death Stranding. And I was quite happy with that just being left as is. But now it's like they've took the message of everything needs to be connected. Connected is the way we stay like a species and how we survive. And they've flipped it and just went, is this really what was best for us? But it looks like we're just getting more Sam Porter bridges going and connecting a whole new continent together.
It
And
does
it
look
looks like
exceptional.
that trailer looked absolutely incredible. It looked absolutely stunning, beautiful. Again, another one of those ones that so far along in its production.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember Death Stranding really coming into any sort of delays originally, unless I'm misremembering something.
Oh, I don't believe so. Kojima is. I think we talked about this. Kojima does churn games out at quite a good pace, especially for a small team. Yeah, no, I don't envision this not making 2025. To be honest, this is
Especially
yeah.
with the partnership that Sony have with Kojima Studios. They have their espionage thriller in the works as well. So this will be very much in Sony's best interest to get this one out
Get this out through the door, especially
in it
like
in the 2025 window.
especially now Kojima owns the rights to Death Stranding because it did release on Xbox there in November.
It did, that's right. And that just came out of nowhere as well. So I think that's a great gateway for Xbox players who want to play it but don't want to buy a PlayStation to go
Sony
and do
greatness.
it.
Yeah, no, yeah, and this is coming out this year. It's gonna be divisive as all heck. Like every
That's it.
Kojima
Yeah,
game ever made.
the first one completely. I think everyone I speak to about it was like, "Oh, I played it, and I think I liked it." And then you get on the other side of the coin is, "I love everything about this game, and Kojima can do no wrong. Give me
Yeah,
more."
yeah,
I'm very much like the game is not without it has a very specific target audience,
very much so. It knows exactly what it wants to do.
but cinematic as a cinematic gameplay engine,
Yes,
which is what it is.
yes.
I'm all for it. I'm a big old nerd for that kind of stuff. And who doesn't want to see Troy Baker fight robots with a guitar sword?
I mean, everybody. I mean, everybody. It's a game I really enjoyed, but I played of it. But I got too deep into side quests and exploring and burn myself out on it. I will finish the first one. I will.
Yeah.
I will buy the second one. It probably won't be in 2025, but it does look exceptionally good. That trailer was just mad, man. It's great.
It
And
was the like because I remember from the first game where you can see like the structure stay and like that's sort of what happens. Like when players leave the map, they can leave structures behind. Where this one looks like it has fully like weather conditions can destroy structures. I think the gameplay will be much, it'll stay relatively the same, the walking simulator vibe, which I really enjoyed. But I think there'll just be so much more in terms of elemental and story and like how the game sort of feels in the controller. I think as well. I think that will be ramped up.
I didn't think of the dual sets. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a shout. Yeah, Death Stranding 2 looks great. It's going to be big.
Yeah.
It probably will. I think a lot of people who bought Death Stranding didn't like it are not going to touch this. It might see lower sales than Death Stranding. But it
But
is
that's
what it
it. It
is.
doesn't have to be a big graphical update. I think this one looks pretty similar to that's my remembering from the reveal trailers. It looks very similar to how the game looked originally, so it didn't need a mad polish up. It just needs a way to drive the narrative forward, and I think if that can be done, I'll still play it regardless. I think I owe it that much.
I just hope Kojima's being really petty and waits for Konami to announce the release date for Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta and then
Just do it the same
the
weekend.
same day. Why not? But
Brilliant.
yeah, anything else to say on it? Or
Nope, I think that's it. Yeah, it just looks so bloody good.
it does look good. It does look good. Do you know what else looks good? The wrap up section, Tom. Let's get there.
Let's do it. Let's get there.
And here we are, Tomahawk. Another episode all wrapped up. That is how our gaming calendars are going to look over the next 12 months. Hopefully. Hopefully.
Oh, we said this last year, and I think I played a grand total of one of the games in my list, so I'm
Yeah.
hoping to at least improve on that one.
Yeah, well, we couldn't do much worse to be honest. We couldn't do much worse than what we did this year. But yeah, so anyone listening wants to tell us in the comments what games they're going to be playing in 2025. Do let us know. Fill out those comments and let us know all the crack. So yeah, that's the content we're going to be playing, and it brings us to the end of this week's content as well, Tomahawk. So that means you know what it means. Like, well, every husband does, just 15 minutes before the wife comes home, it's time for housekeeping. Let's tell everyone where they can find more content from High Scores High Stakes, because 1 hour a week just ain't enough. If you direct your browser to highscoreshighstakes.com, on top of the homepage you will see links to everywhere on the internet you can find us. That includes Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and of course Discord. Join Discord, join the conversation, join us for games in our community stream every Tuesday as well. If you like the podcast but you haven't yet reviewed it with a star rating or a written review, please feel free to do that. 1 star to 5, whatever you think we deserve. If you want to justify your choice with ways we can improve it, as long as it's constructive, we'll take everything on board and try to make High Scores High Stakes as good as we possibly can. And with all that being said, Tomahawk, I don't think we have anything else to say other than share this podcast with family members and friends who may think might like it. But also, I've been Mr. Luvva Luvva. This has been High Scores High Stakes. Thanks for watching. See you on Monday. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.